All right, everybody. That'll probably do it for the Huskies. That'll probably do it for the 2024 Huskies, at least in terms of making a bowl game. I think they needed this one, and while they did fight back and they made it close, and some things are good, they didn't get it. They didn't get what they needed, and now we hit the harder part of the schedule. You might have needed to go undefeated in this early stretch to get to where you wanted to be by the end of the year, and you're not even close. Granted, you're talking about maybe one or two plays in both losses, but you're 3-2. You've now lost a game that ended up being very winnable. Like I said in my pregame video, I thought we were going to lose because Rutgers' offensive line is so good. I thought they would drop 35 plus on us. That didn't happen. I didn't even notice Rutgers' offensive line as being particularly standout in this game. They were fine, but they didn't control this game. They didn't dominate this game. They put up 21 points, and 7 of those points came because you had some idiot run on the field from the sideline on a field goal try that was blocked. So that's a 7-point swing. So it wasn't the way that I thought it was going to go, and you still found a way to lose. And you had double their yards. I think we beat them in yards more than 2-1. How do you get beat in yards by more than 2-1? You get doubled up in yards, and you're up 21-10 with 2 minutes left in the game. Like, people are going to look at the final score and say, oh, that's a really close game. And don't forget that Rutgers was up 11 points with 2 minutes to go in this game. So it was a mad scramble just to get in the position to make this close. So, bottom line is, the most important thing to take away from this game is Jedd Fisch is not beating the allegations, right? People are on Jedd Fisch these last couple weeks because they don't like what they see from the Huskies. They're not impressed with what he's doing so far. And it's not just about winning and losing. It's about discipline. It's about smart football. And there was so little smart football out there today that you had, excuse me, Will Rogers had over 300 passing yards in this game. Coleman had almost 150 rushing yards. Career days for both of those guys. Rogers and Coleman both played some of the best football they played all year, and you only put up 18 points, and you put all of that to waste. All of that is wasted in a game that you've lost. Not even to one of the best teams you're going to play the rest of the way. This is not losing to Michigan. This is not losing to Oregon. This is losing to Rutgers. And I know Rutgers is going to be pretty good this year. They look like they're a pretty decent team this year. I get all that. But they're not going to compete for a national title. They're not setting their sights up there. They're setting their sights more in the middle area. So when you catch them on a day like today where, quite honestly, their offensive line was not able to control the game the way I feared they might, you got to get it done. And somehow, someway, I'm still kind of in shock at how we lost this game. You look at people are going to look at the box score of this game and they're going to wonder what the heck happened here. So I'm not going to say that the referees were completely fair in this game. I get it. I know there are going to be some complaints, some points of criticism leveled at the officials. It did seem like there was a little bit of a Rutgers tilt, and maybe that made some difference. But I don't think that whatever tilt there was justified how sloppy that game was. So many penalties, and penalties are happening after the whistle. We had a couple of targeting calls in this game. We had the 12th man running onto the field in the middle of the play. That's the kind of stuff the referees really don't have anything to do with, guys, because the targeting gets looked at, right? And the targeting gets reviewed. Excuse me. Ugh. Sorry. I'm aggravated. I'm aggravated after what I saw tonight. So, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. But obviously, people are going to continue to spin on the Jedd Fisch stuff because the discipline has just been a complete disaster early on this season. A lot of stupidity, a lot of unnecessary penalties, a lot of mistakes. The time management at the end of the game with a few minutes left was atrocious, right? Like, what are you doing running the ball on shotgun draws when you need to score quickly? We would probably be playing overtime right now. I'd be watching overtime on my TV right now if we could have scored before the 2-minute warning. But we took our time down the field. We were running the clock out. We were running the ball. We were taking our time. And we scored with 1:40 left. And that ended up making all the difference in the world. You score with like 2 minutes, 10 seconds left. Now you've got something. Just 30 seconds earlier, I think everything changes. And I actually think we find a way to win that game. I really do. So I'm frustrated. Not so much about this season, but long term. Because Jedd Fisch can't get these guys under control. Like, it was 2 weeks ago you blew that Wazoo game in a ridiculous manner. So you would think that would be a point of focus. And Fisch would be like, I don't ever want to lose a game because of stuff like that ever again. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm all over the place right now. I'm not that distraught or anything like that. I'm just kind of confused. I'm kind of confused because I wasn't expecting this Huskies team to be all that good. I was kind of anticipating this Huskies team to have a down year. Like, I wasn't sure if we were going to make a bowl game. But I'm really surprised at how lost this coaching staff looks. Offensively in particular. So many wasted opportunities. Could have easily scored 40 points tonight. The penalties killed you. The mistakes killed you. The guy running onto the field as a 12th man with the play still going. That was a 7-point swing minimum. Maybe more. Who knows? It just kind of blows my mind that you can have that game 2 weeks ago and you don't get it through your head that, hey, this needs to be a point of emphasis going forward. This is what's costing us games right now. And I hurt for Rogers, too, because he played a career game with Washington so far. Jonah Coleman had a great game. A lot of good stuff from him. And you give it up to Rutgers, too. They played a tough game out there. They were able to get us a few stops on 4th down. They were able to force us into those field goals. And Grady Gross obviously had a terrible game. Not really in the mood to kill him because, so much other stuff in this game went wrong that missing a few field goals doesn't even seem like that big of a deal to me. But, we win the game if he makes some of those kicks. So I get it on that angle too. So I will say this, the defense I thought played about as good as they could. That touchdown on 3rd and 4 after calling the timeout on a zone read shotgun draw, that's going to hurt for a while because we missed several tackles on that play. There were bad plays on the defense. We allowed too many 3rd downs. I'm not saying it was all great, but I do think that overall Steve Belichick's doing a good job, and this defense is doing a good job. So I will give credit where credit is due to that side of the ball. They're legitimately really good, and Belichick's getting the most out of them because we don't have a ton of talent on that side of the ball. But this offense, you can see where they can be really good because they are moving the ball up and down the field and they're not getting anything on these trips because they get in their own way. They find ridiculous ways to just mess it up, and it's so many layers of it. I don't love the play calling, although that's always going to be subjective and that's always going to be kind of results-oriented thinking, right? Like, I didn't love the play call. There was a 3rd and 2 in this game where we did a play where it looked risky as heck and you were only going to get 3 yards even if it worked. Like, if I'm going to be taking a big risk, I'd rather be going for a big play. It was like a little out route right near the marker, and the DB was all over it because, of course, he is, because he's playing the marker. So, yeah. I think this is quite possibly the start of the downward spiral. I think this could be a downward spiral to like a 4-win season. I think we're going to win one more game this year. I don't know if we're going to win any more. And I'm not that upset about it. But the problem I have is the team is playing very stupid football right now. All the penalties, the time management, the decision making, the things that are holding us back. The things that are holding us back from being an undefeated team right now. And it wouldn't be an impressive undefeated, but it would be an undefeated team that would be well on their way to a bowl game. That concerns you. Because Jedd Fisch was supposed to be the guy. And through the first 5 games, you got to give him a failing grade. You got to say he's not getting it done. All right. I'm gonna go and get out of here. Sorry this video was kind of all over the place, but I'm just a little bit bummed out. I expected a little bit cleaner. When I saw how good our defensive front played in this game, because for the most part I thought they played really well, I thought to myself, okay, we should probably win this game. Rutgers is not controlling the line of scrimmage the way that I thought. So you should win. And it didn't happen. And there are a lot of reasons why it didn't happen, but in the forefront of my mind is just, it seems like this team has a coaching problem, and that's not what needed to happen. If this team has a talent problem, then so be it. They lost all their talent last season. All right. I'm going to head on over to Twitch in a little bit. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. We did have fun on the stream tonight, though, for whatever it's worth. Low energy for sure, which... Can you blame me when the game goes like that? By the way, the rhythm of this game was all broken up and messed up, and it seemed like a player was getting hurt every 3 plays. It was kind of brutal there for a little bit. But, yeah. See you guys later. Bow down to Washington, but this is going to be the pessimist year. This is going to be the pessimism year, I think, because the pessimistic outline of the Washington Huskies this year looks like it's going to play out. All right. See you guys later.